Okay, hello. Here we see the artist Chuck Close, his portrait, and it's quite fascinating to see his portrait. And this one is Roy Litchenstein, and it's better we go further and further and further and further. The further away we go, the better we see the whole picture. As we move closer, I will tell the story I have read, and also we can see more, very much into the details. Chuck Close, his painting subjects are his family and friends, and his artist friends. I think he had an accident or something, so later on he was hospital-ridden and stayed inside the hospital. Chuck Close. So it's these artist friends went to see him. So, and a very interesting I read about the artist was that he was face blind and blind. So I checked the internet. Face blind was a kind of a neural disorder that could not recognize people's face, even he himself own face. So if we move closer and closer and closer and closer, each of these is a small element and grid. Does not make any sense, right? But when we move further away, we start to see the whole picture. And this artist is Roy Litchenstein, and we know his particular style is grid. It's these little dots. And he really, the artist, the portrait artist, transferred his artistic style of the painting subject, combined this painting subject's painting style with his own grid method. It's really fascinating how this work came out. And I do not know much more about color blindness, but definitely he has taken advantage of his weakness and transferred it into his strength, that he could illustrate, he could dismantle the whole subject and into a much more detailed way of expressing his art expression. Very interesting. And what else I'm trying to say? Yes, he took months and months of time to start from the picture of the artist, and then he processed it in his own way and try his own method until he get this color scheme. Let's see the eyes, okay? Are we seeing the eyes? Let's go closer and magnifying, closer, 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 closer. This is the eye, and this is not an eye. This is an eye, and it's actually not an eye. But when you go further away, you put it like a puzzle, put it together, it becomes a complete image. again, so oftentimes we lose our vision because we are too close to it. The artist is trying to go close to the essence of the painting subject, as well as leaving and going further away from the painting subject. Do I make sense? You have to go so close, so intensely close, so that you can understand your painting subject. But you have to be so far away, so far away, to be away from the painting subject. And this particular artist, the painting subject is, her name is Agnes Martin. Later we will go to see some of Agnes Martin's artwork. And her way is, the artist, her way of painting is making very delicate and precise grid. So you can see her painting style, this portrait painting style, use very precise grid. And if we come here to see, all this grid is very well aligned. See from this way, up, down, horizontal, vertical. Let's come to see the eyes. This is not an eye. Now we go closer, we go further, isn't it? An eye. And the artist herself, this artist, I think this is in her 80s or something. Her name is Agnes Martin. She said this painting is superhuman. She really appreciated that Chuck Close painted her in such an amazing, essential way. Some more paintings. Amazing. Can you believe that this artist, Chuck Close, is face blind? I could not wrap up my head around it. What does it mean, face blind? So that's this one painting subject is Roy Litchenstein, Roy Litchenstein, and he borrowed, Chuck Close borrowed his dot style. Now we go to the artwork of Roy Litchenstein. Doesn't it look familiar? You must have seen it 1,000 times, right? This dot painting. I don't mean Aboriginal dot painting. Roy Litchenstein's particular dot comic book painting style. Closer. The artist of this painting subject is Agnes Martin, and her style is using grid, those little grids, square or rectangular square grids. So now we go to see the artist. This is a portrait by Chuck Close. Now we go to see Agnes Martin. Okay, here we are seeing the exhibition of Agnes Martin. And from further away, you will see only the huge panels. And at the very first, I didn't understand it. As we went closer, we start to recognize, and her painting was all this meticulous, precise, accurate, perfect, pristine grid. This one is a large grid, and this one is a much more detailed, close grid. And this is not a machine printing. This is her real work. And there are some, I read from the description, she spent all her years, 50 years, creating this kind of, this style of art. And it's very meditative, very calm. And the artist said when he visited her at her 50 years old, the ripe age, she was still painting these grids, equally precise, and you can see the color change, little teeny tiny little bit of color change, and her style is so light. Sometimes when you do painting, you understand. Sometimes light is not easy to achieve. The persistency of this uniform light, it takes a lot of strength and energy to keep it from beginning to the end, all the way through the same persistence, the same weight. Let's go closer. And this one, she made sure there is color change, but just this little teeny tiny little bit of nuance of color change, and keep it persistent. It needs very strong heart, very strong will to keep on finish such a huge piece. And this one does not look so regularly, sometimes light, sometimes dark. Knowing her style, I am sure this is all planned. It's not because she didn't pay attention or she lost her energy. She is intentionally creating this kind of textured uniformity. And you have seen the painting by the portrait of Agnes Martin by Chuck Close. So now you understand her breed and the style that Chuck Close incorporated into his portrait of the artist Agnes Martin. Isn't it interesting? This is absolutely not possible. See the face he painted, and this one is on tapis, on fabric. That's art, more than art.